Hi guys, today's lesson is over perimeter of algebra tiles, and there's going to be some key vocabulary that you're going to need to understand when we're talking about perimeter of algebra tiles. Alright, first off, perimeter. And make this distinction between perimeter and area here. Alright, perimeter we're talking today is the distance around the outside of a figure. Notice the key word being outside there, okay? So if I were to give you an example here of a square, and each side of the square is 2 centimeters long. Well, to find the perimeter, all I'm simply going to do is add up the distance around the square there. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 8, okay? Something else you're going to come in contact today with, and maybe you already have, with these algebra tiles, is terms. And all we're going to say a term is in this course is this. A term is either a single number or variable, or the product of several numbers or variables separated by a plus or minus sign. Okay? So if you need to pause and write that down, please do that. Let's give you an example of what we're talking about. Here's an example of an expression, 3x squared plus 4x plus 7. If you're asking yourself, well, which one of these are terms, the answer to that question is all of them. 3x squared, the 4x, and 7 are all terms. Again, a term can be a single number, or a variable, or a combination of both a number and a variable there together, okay? So this is what we're talking about when we're talking there about terms, okay? All right, so now moving on here, we're going to name perimeter of algebra tiles. And here are the steps we're going to want you to take here. All right, name the sides of each shape, combine like terms, write your simplified expression. So we're going to talk about the tiles that we've been working with here lately. All right, let's first start with our one tile here. We know the area is 1, but now we want to find the perimeter, not the area. All right, if I were to ask you what the perimeter of this was, let's go through the first step. Name the sides of each shape here. All right. So here I have my square, and I'm going to name the sides now. I know that each side is 1. So I'm just going to mark a 1 around each side. My next step then is I'm going to combine like terms. So in other words, I have my 1's here that I'm all going to add together. 1 plus 1, excuse me here. I'm going to rewrite this over here. I made a mistake. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay? When I added up everything around. But now I need to simplify this. I know that 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal then to 4. 4 would be my simplified expression. Okay? All right. So that is the one tile. That is the perimeter. If I look right here at my X piece, remember, if I were to name, I named my X piece by its area, but now I want to name it by its perimeter. So again, I'm just going to name, of my X piece here, I'm going to name each side. Well, I know that this side is 1, all right? And the sides, the left and the right here, remember we labeled X. We don't know what this is, so we're going to label this X. Well, I know if the right side of the tile here is X, then the left side of the tile is also X. If I know the top part of the tile here, the top side is 1, well then the bottom has to be 1. So now I have named all my sides here of my X piece. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So in other words, the terms that are alike here. Well, I know the X's are alike, and I know now the 1's are alike. All right, so now I've combined like terms. Now I'm going to write my simplified expression. Well, how many X's do you see here? The answer should be 2. When I add X plus X, I see that there are 2 X's there. And I also see that there are 2 1's. So my simplified expression is 2x plus 2. Here are my 2 X's. When I add 1 plus 1, that is how I get my 2 right over there. And finally, the last piece, guys, The last piece is my x squared piece. And if you haven't, I'd like to have you have these pieces out as you're doing this here. Hopefully you've done that with the 1 and the x piece. Now I have my x squared piece. Remember, we named the x squared piece by its area in a previous lesson, but remember today we're naming the perimeter. Remember that we said that each side of the x squared piece was the side x. All right, so now I see a square here. Well, if I know that the top part of my square is x, then all the other sides have to be x as well. All the sides of the square here are the same. So now I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. I have x plus x plus x plus x. And that now, as a simplified expression, is going to give me here, how many x's do you see when you add them all together around the outside of the figure? I see now 4x, okay? All right, guys, that was your lesson today on naming perimeter of algebra tiles. Thank you.